Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to interrupt your conversation, but we have someone who's here to give you some brief remarks because he unfortunately has to run to another event, but he likes us better.
Yep.
I'd like to introduce the 17th president of SUNY Downstate, Dr. Wayne J. Riley.
Thank you, Dr. Butman. Good evening, all. I could not miss being here, even though I have like 5 events tonight. It's crazy. But this is very special to me because, as many of you know, I am a trustee of the Arnold P. Gold Foundation. And it is one of the things I have always embraced because of its great work of recognizing and encouraging those of us in medicine and nursing to embrace humanism and to never forget that as a physician and a nurse with all this fancy technology and all these tests we can order and all this fancy equipment, that at the essence, the reason why we do what we do is for that patient on the first day of life and that patient on the last day of life and everything in between. And so, colleagues, that's why Dr. Gold founded this foundation, because he was worried that medicine and physicians and nurses and healthcare givers were losing sight of why we go into the healing professions. And so for those students and our distinguished faculty who have been selected, in the case of the students, your peers selected you. It wasn't me, it wasn't Dr. Putman, it wasn't the dean. Your peers said that you have, as the French say, Dean, that je ne sais quoi, that special something that they can't describe, but they know that you are special, that you're a special caregiver. And so that is a tremendous honor, students, for your classmates to pick you to be in this Arnold P. Gold Honor Society. And so you should be filled with pride and humility about this, because with this recognition comes the constant reminder of the special calling that we have. Now, many of you have heard me talk about this at white coat ceremonies that you've been a part of, but you know, it's a special calling in life to be a physician or a nurse or to tend to someone's health care. And so that's the spirit in which you should receive this wonderful recognition and honor. Be proud of it, but don't let it deter you from keeping the humanity in healthcare. Doesn't matter which specialty you go into. Doesn't matter if you go into derm or ENT or psychiatry or public health or internal medicine like me or surgery. Always keep that essence that your classmates have recognized in you by this wonderful honor to be inducted into the Arnold P. Gold Honor Society. So normally I would stay. Unfortunately, I have to run over to another event, but I told Dr. Putman and the dean I wanted to come here first because this means so much to me to be a part of this great organization, and more importantly, to recognize each of you. So congratulations.
So, before we start the formal ceremony, we're actually going to, it's like a wedding, right? We're going to dismiss you to get your dinner. So you don't all have to all get up at once, but there are 2 serving tables back there. But Ernie did ask me to make sure you bring your large dish that's in front of you, because the dishes are on the table, not over there. So if you all want to start in the back there and bring your dishes out, Ernie is opening up the food. So please go get the food in about 10 minutes. You can eat during the ceremony. We'll start the formal ceremony and we'll go over how we're going to do the rest of this, okay? So feel free, get up and please get some dinner.
did at my roommate's house. I thought the turkey was like, but I actually ended up like feeling more than that. How do you do that?
No, they both work, except I'm too tall, so I'm going to use. So once again, good evening. Um, by the way, please, it is not impolite to go up and get more food while we're talking. That's totally okay. So please feel free to do that. So good evening again, and welcome. My name is Dr. Jeffrey Putman. I'm the Vice President for Academic and Student Affairs, and I'm honored to serve as one of the co-advisors for the Gold Foundation Honor Society. And I want to introduce my colleague, Dr. Elke Jacobson-Dickman, who is the other co-advisor for the Honor Society. And it's truly wonderful to be together tonight with so many faculty, family members, friends, and colleagues as we celebrate the induction of our new members into the Gold Humanism Honor Society here at SUNY Downstate. This ceremony is always special because it gives us a chance to pause, if only briefly, and reflect on what drew so many to medicine and healthcare in the first place. At its heart, this evening is about people, about compassion, and about showing up for others, especially when it matters the most. The Gold Humanism Honor Society, which was founded by the Arnold P. Gold Foundation, honors individuals who lead with empathy, integrity, and respect in their care of patients and in their work with one another. Being selected for this society is a tremendous honor, but it also carries a commitment to carry these values forward, even on the hardest of days. I speak from personal experience when I say how meaningful this recognition is, because I, too, am deeply honored to be a member of the Gold Humanism Honor Society. And while I'm not a physician myself, my career has been shaped by working alongside physicians, students, and healthcare professionals who remind me every day that humanism is not peripheral to medicine, it's central to it. And over the years, I've learned that the moments patients remember the most aren't the technical details. They're the moments when they feel seen, heard, and cared for. To our inductees, what makes tonight especially meaningful is that you are being recognized not just for what you know, but for who you are. You have already shown, often in quiet and unheralded ways, that humanism is something you already practice every day. Whether it's sitting a little longer with a patient, supporting a peer, or approaching your work with humility and kindness, those moments leave a lasting impact on those you touch. Those are the things that people remember. Humanism is rarely about grand gestures. More often, it's about choosing compassion again and again, even when the work is incredibly demanding. Over the course of my career, I've learned that service, like medicine, is a lifelong journey. None of us ever truly arrives. We're never perfect. Each interaction, each patient encounter, each difficult moment teaches us something new about trust, resilience, and what it means to care for another human being. The individuals we honor tonight understand that this journey is not only about developing expertise, but about deepening empathy. And I've often turned to stories that imagine the future, not because they predict what will come next, but because they ask enduring questions about who we choose to be. And again, those stories remind us that progress without humanity and humility is never the goal. The most advanced societies are not defined by technology alone, but by how they care for one another. And in medicine, that lesson could not be more relevant. It also, by the way, can't be more relevant today in our society around us. What you're learning now will shape not only what you can do, but who you choose to be when you do it. And as you approach the completion of this chapter of your training, and you are almost there, while it's still very much in the midst of it this semester, it's worth remembering that this moment is not an ending. It's a threshold. It's what lies ahead will continue to be shaped by your patients, your colleagues, the communities you serve. Humanism will be a compass that guides you when the answers aren't always clear. And one of the things that makes Downstate special, our institution special, is that these values are not abstract here. We live them every day. We see every day what it means to care for people in moments of real vulnerability, and how powerful, simple acts of kindness can be, especially in the communities that we serve. For more than 30 years, SUNY Downstate has been proud to be a partner with the Arnold P. Gold Foundation, and if you remember my speech from the White Coat Ceremony, and you all remember my speech, right? We were one of the first 4 institutions who joined the Arnold P. Gold Foundation back in the mid-1990s. That long-standing relationship reflects a shared belief that excellence and humanity belong together. So to the mentors, colleagues, and loved ones who are in the room tonight, none of this happens in isolation. Your guidance, encouragement, and belief have helped shape the professionals and people that we will honor this evening. And to our inductees, we offer our heartfelt congratulations. You are entering the next stage of this journey at a time when medicine and our world need your compassion, your curiosity, your humanity more than ever. You give us reason to be hopeful, not just for the future of healthcare, but for the future of those who will place their trust in you. So thank you for leading with heart, and thank you all for being here this evening. Thank you. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our Dean of the College of Medicine. Sorry, you thought you were getting away. Dr. Charles Brunicardi, who wants to bring some greetings to you as well. You thought you were going to get away. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Before I read my comments, I'd like to congratulate the students who are inducted tonight, and especially their parents, who I'm sure are very proud of their children. I know my parents were very proud of me at college. My mom grew up in East New York, and my dad grew up in the Bronx. So they were thrilled that I my grandparents were immigrants that worked in sweatshops, and their grandson becomes a doctor. So it's a fabulous career. It keeps changing. I never would have dreamed that I'd become a dean. I trained here in general surgery at Downstate, and we love the Downstate students because the Downstate students are just outstanding. They have an incredible work ethic. Talk about humanism. They come to Downstate to take care of the patients in this community. And so I think our greatest strength are the students that we train. So this is one of the joyous nights of the year. The other joyous events are the College of Medicine Award Days, where you get to see all the students who are crushing it and winning awards. Another day that's coming up for, I think, almost all of you is Match Day, where you find out where you're going to go train. And we had an interview yesterday with a professor from Columbia, and he said, we love the Downstate students because they're so well trained to take care of patients. So I'm really proud of all of you. And then graduation's coming up. So that's another great day where you get your MD degree. And I still remember that. For me, it was 1980. It seems like yesterday, and it's one of the best days of my life to get that degree. And I'm honored here to serve as the dean. And like I said, I'm just so proud of the students. So, so good evening, everyone, and welcome. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight to see so many faculty members, families, and friends and colleagues gathered to celebrate the induction of new members into the Gold Humanism Honor Society here at SUNY Downstate. This is always a meaningful evening for our College of Medicine, and I'm grateful to share it with you. Tonight, we honor a group of students who have been recognized by their peers for something that cannot be captured on transcript or measured on an exam score. You're being honored for how you care. And I can say as an aside that the greatest reward that you'll get as being a doctor is the love that you'll get back from your patients if you show them that you care about them. For the respect you show to your patients, for the compassion you bring to your work, and for the integrity you demonstrate every day. At Downstate, we believe deeply that humanism and excellence in medicine are inseparable. Clinical knowledge and technical skills are essential, but they're not sufficient on their own. The ability to listen, to communicate clearly, and to treat every patient and their family with dignity is what builds trust and defines great physicians. The students we honor tonight understand that, and they already embody it. As you near completion of your medical school training, you're preparing to take on additional responsibility. The values recognized here tonight will matter even more as you move forward on busy services, in difficult moments, and when the right path is not always obvious. Humanism is what will guide your decisions and ground your work. I want to thank the Arnold P. Gold Foundation for its leadership and for its longstanding partnership with SUNY Downstate. For more than 30 years, this collaboration has helped reinforce our shared commitment to compassionate, patient-centered care. I also want to acknowledge our faculty, mentors, and loved ones here this evening whose support has been essential to our student success. To our inductees, congratulations. You represent the very best of Downstate, and we're proud of you, not only for what you have accomplished, but for the kind of physicians you are becoming. So thank you all for being here, and welcome. Thank you.
So I'll just explain how the ceremony is going to work. We're going to start with honoring the student inductee members, and I am going to read all of the names, even though I know that all of you are not here, just to make sure that you are, everybody who isn't able to be here is still honored. And I will say up front that I promise you I will not be the one reading your name at commencement if I mispronounce your name, because we did not ask for your pronunciations, and we do for commencement. That man over there is going to be reading your names at commencement, so he's listening. Dr. Roman is honored with, we haven't asked you yet this year, but I hope you'll say yes, since I've now announced you as the name reader. But he has read the names for the last several years, and I hope he will do so again. The pressure's on. But I'll read your name, and we'd ask each of you who are here to come up, and we have a certificate for you that's actually the oath that we are all going to perform at the end. And we'd ask you to sign the certificate up front, and there's pens on the table in order to be able to sign the certificate. We also will ask when you come up that you would answer this question for us on the microphone. And that is, what does humanism in medicine mean to you? And how have you seen it performed in your training? How will you carry it forward in your career? So short, not an hour-long speech, but a short answer to that question when you come up. It's your first official responsibility that we're giving you as a member of the Gold Foundation to help teach others the answer to that question. So, without further ado, we will start with Paris Aquaro. Come on up. start with your answer and then we'll.
Just throughout the education experience here at Downstate, our peers have really banded together, and I feel like that's like the first sign of humanism that we've seen in our career so far.
Go. Date there, which is January 29th. Ivana Baldi.
To me, humanism means showing up for patients no matter what's going on in your day-to-day life and having empathy and always being ready to listen.
Emma Bowden.
To me, humanism is making sure that everyone receives access to healthcare, even those that cannot afford it or are not, do not, or who like lack the resources to find their own healthcare. I don't know.
Hannah. Oh, yes. Hannah Brown.
To me, humanism means taking yourself out of the equation when you're in a clinical setting, and really like taking any ego or anything that you brought into the hospital and leaving it at the door, and making sure all of your attention and care is put on to the patients in front of you. Also, leaving whatever they brought in, to the hospital with them at the door, and just like taking them for who they are.
Anastasia Bowie.
Hi, I am not very good at public speaking, but I guess to me, humanism means meeting your patients where you're at and treating everyone with compassion, because it is a gift that everyone can give to one another. That's it.
Kunika Chahal.
Hi, everyone. I guess humanism to me is just being that person that listens, whether or not the person that is talking to you is ready to speak about everything you want to ask them about. And I guess how I'd like to take that into practice is being that practitioner that listens and that really sits with patients while they're at their most vulnerable.
Dario Fusic.
So to me, humanism is let. Oh, this
Use
one?
the hand.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So one way that I believe we could show humanism is by letting each patient really come and speak for themselves and not letting any handoff we got in the morning or previous note from a provider speak for them and giving them an authentic chance to, start from scratch.
I can already see some of you have better signatures than me. That's good. Madeline Fudala. Anna Gao. Rachel Gerber. Catherine Glazer. There we go.
Hi. I think what humanism is to me is to making everyone comfortable in the hospital. So if that's with a patient, taking what can be a very scary event and explaining as much as you can to make people comfortable. And then also on the second fold to our peers and colleagues to explain to if that's like an MS1 or MS2 on rotation and making sure everyone's on the same page.
Stella Johnson Vivas.
Hi, everyone. I guess to me, humanism means showing up every day, being your best self to offer to your patients, and making sure that you're listening to them and caring for all their socioeconomic needs. And I'm very grateful that that was shown to me not only before medical school, but also here in my training at Downstate.
Francesca Kabemba. Not here. Raphael Kiru. Justin Kong.
Hey everyone. So humanism for me means dedication and commitment to our surrounding communities, um, advocating to serve for them, and also encouraging others in our communities to serve for them as well. I've definitely seen that here with my fellow peers at Downstate, seeing them step up to become the leaders they are today.
Kwak Hugh Lee. Not bad?
Very close. No worries. Evening, everyone. Humanism medicine means to me is the responsibility that we have as physicians, that we often see people at some of the lowest points of their lives, but still understanding that in spite of it, we maintain our senses of responsibility, empathy, and compassion that we have for that. It's what inspired me to go into medicine. My father had a stroke, and seeing the care that his physicians had given to him during that time, at one of the lowest points of my life, is something that I've sought to emulate and that I've seen my peers do much of the same over these past few years.
Christopher Maglori.
Hi, everyone. So to me, humanism means understanding that every patient has their own unique experience and taking that into consideration when providing care.
Leanne Marcello.
Good evening, everyone. When I think of humanism and Downstate, what first comes to mind is the Brooklyn Free Clinic. It's our student-run free clinic that happens every Wednesday night. And just seeing the dozens of volunteers from all stages of in our College of Medicine, the nursing school, public health school, all coming together to care for the uninsured population of Brooklyn. And I'm just so proud of all my classmates.
Claire O'Loughlin. Jessica Richmond.
Hi, everyone. I would say humanism to me is, and this echoes kind of what was said earlier, but you're meeting a patient on a difficult day. It could be, really emotional, really tough for them, and you can be that person that can listen to them, give them that extra ear, and just, be there and be their advocate. And I think we really embody that very well at Downstate, and I'm looking forward to continuing that in my residency training and beyond.
Yusuf Saleh.
Hi, everyone. It's an honor to be here with you guys. To me, humanism is about relationships. As a future physician, I hope to build real connections with my patients and make sure they feel safe and heard. Thank you.
Leah Sarmiento. Toby Somorin. Allison Squilante. Kiara Stanifer. Leah Strauss.
Hi, everyone. To me, humanism in medicine is everything. The core of what we do is care for our fellow human beings, and I think the least we can do is care for them holistically in the context of their lives that they're living. And I think the same can be said for our fellow healthcare providers who are also living lives outside of the hospital and outside of the clinic. Yeah, so I hope we can all keep upholding that value.
Sherry Tan.
So to me, humanism is just being there for someone, no matter what story they come in with, whether it be a patient or your healthcare team or any of your colleagues and peers. To me, I think it's just showing up and meeting them where they are.
Julius Wu.
Good evening, everyone. To me, humanism is recognizing that every patient that you see has a story and knowing that although you may not understand everyone's story, at the very least, you have an obligation to listen to everyone's story.
Emily Yang.
Hi, everyone. I think to me, humanism means really taking the time to listen and really hear each and every one of your patients. I think so far as like med students, you know, we may not be able to do everything that we want to do, but one thing that we are able to give is our time and really taking the time to listen to each and every one of your patients' stories and backgrounds is, yeah, what humanism means to me.
Sally Zhu.
Good evening, everyone. To me, humanism means to lead with kindness, whether or not you ever get to learn the other person's story.
And our last student inductee, Elise Zwickelbauer.
Hi. I think to me, humanism is believing in the inherent value of every single person you meet and choosing kindness even on the hardest of days.
Thank you for sharing those profound words, students, and maybe one collective applause for just the amazing people you are. And now it is we actually have we have 4 faculty inductees and 1 TAO Award winner. And I'll explain what that is in a moment. And the last inductee, I will ask Dean Putman to introduce. For our faculty, we've traditionally given them a little bit more of an introduction since there are fewer of them, and because we also credit them for who you've become. So without further ado, our first inductee among the faculty members is Dr. Melanie Peters. I'm going to share a few remarks before you join me because I know she may pull the paper away from me if she came up. Dr. Peters is a board-certified obstetrics gynecologist here at Downstate, where she also serves as your clerkship director. Dr. Peters is a highly skilled, minimally invasive surgeon. She is known for her expertise in laparoscopic and robot-assisted procedures, as well as for her dedication to patient-centered, compassionate care. Dr. Peters is an award-winning educator whose commitment to teaching and mentorship has been recognized nationally. 2024, she received both the Association of Professors in Gynecology and Obstetrics Excellence in Teaching Award and the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecologists National Faculty Award for Excellence in Resident Education. She's also been honored as Outstanding Educator of the Year for the clinical years here at SUNY Downstate. Originally from San Antonio, Texas, Dr. Peters earned her undergraduate degree at NYU, followed by her MBH and MD here at SUNY Downstate. After serving as Administrative Chief Resident at New York Medical College Westchester Medical Center, she returned to Downstate to continue her clinical teaching and leadership work. She now serves as the Director of Health Equity Division within the Obstetrics and Gynecology, reflecting her longstanding commitment to reproductive justice, advocacy, and community health. Tonight, we're especially proud to welcome Dr. Peters into the Gold Humanism Honor Society, as this distinction, and this is true of all the faculty, is based on nomination and selection by you, our students. A powerful reflection of the compassion, respect, and excellence she role models every day. These voices affirm what so many of us already know, that Dr. Peters is not just an outstanding clinician and educator, but a trusted mentor and role model who embodies the spirit of humanism in medicine. Please join us. And we also had a prompt for the faculty, which was, what does humanism mean to them, and how do they plan to continue to role model these values?
Thank you. I'm very honored to be here. For me, humanism in medicine means always striving to make a positive impact in those around you, whether it's your patients, your colleagues, your peers, your family, using honesty, humility, and respect, as well as compassion, to advocate continuously so that people's needs are met, whether that's on an individual patient level while they're receiving care, or fighting for changes to improve the systems that affect our patients in every aspect of their life. For me, I plan to continue to model these behaviors by making positive impact on the students and the next generation of physicians, teaching them how to think critically about a situation that may be difficult and how to use compassion in that situation to do their very best. Thank you.
Next, my dear friend, Dr. Chris Rahman. Chris, I hope it's okay if I get informal, is a native New Yorker, the child of Puerto Rican and Italian immigrants who met in the streets, tenements, and Pentecostal churches of Williamsburg, Brooklyn. He is a proud graduate of the New York City public school system. After completing high school at Stuyvesant, he pursued his interests in the emerging fields of biochemistry and molecular and cell biology. He earned his BA at Harvard, followed by his PhD at UCLA and Columbia. His postdoctoral research training kept him at Rockefeller University with Nobel laureate Dr. David Baltimore, whom he later followed back to MIT. In 1998, Chris enthusiastically returned to his hometown to serve at its public academic medical center, SUNY Downstate, where he has led a research laboratory focused on molecular, cellular, and genetic basis of the autoimmune condition lupus. Over the years, he has served in numerous administrative leadership roles. including his current positions as department chair and campus governance leader. Regardless of his great scholarly and academic and administrative leadership achievements, Chris appears to derive his greatest academic fulfillment as an educator and mentor for the core curriculum, the Bridges to Medicine master's program, and the Pathway programs as well. He co-directs HEAL, a paracurricular certificate pathway focused on health equity, and the LGBTQIA+ pathway, where I have the pleasure to work closely with him. Chris's career recognitions include being named an outstanding educator in the Foundations of Medicine, receiving an Excellence in Mentorship Award from the Office of Diversity in Education and Research, earning a SUNY Chancellor's Award for faculty service, and most recently serving as faculty sponsor of the Student Pride Club, where he helped facilitate the very first campus lavender graduation. Chris attributes his happiness, his career satisfaction, and his professional accomplishments to the immense good fortune of the love and support systems in his life, most prominently that of his spouse, Peter, whom we at Downstate have gotten the privilege to get to know a little bit as well. They've been together 41 years, guys. Not bad. Chris is always so generous in expressing his love, kindness, and admiration for others that today it feels particularly meaningful to return that appreciation and to honor his profound humanism, humility, inclusivity, kindness, and joy. Congratulations, Chris.
I don't even know what to say. Who's that person? It's also a moment for me because it's just deeply humbling. It was a complete surprise. I'm completely throwing out my prepared words. But when I see your faces, that's how I derive like superpowers. You know, I feel so humbled that I'm in this room with you. You know, that all of your passion, your brilliant minds, the roads that you've traveled, some of which have been unimaginably difficult, and yet you bring all of that, you harness all of those magnificent skills to be a healer. And when I'm thinking about what humanism means in medicine, I think it's just humanism to be a human. It's really an act of love. I say, why do I do what I do? First of all, I can't think of being any different. When I think about what guides my behavior, my professional practice, how I want an interaction to be, I think about my family. I think about the journeys of my grandparents. You know, they lived very difficult lives that were also a source of strength and opportunities for compassion. You know, these were people who gave of themselves when they had nothing. You know, I have shared this story with many of you before. You know, my grandma who came from Puerto Rico, whom I never met, my father's mom, died when she was 45 from hypertension that she didn't want to take medicine for because she had to make that financial choice between taking her medicine or putting food on the table for her 7 young children. But what she did have was the support of her community. There was no health care. Health care was spiritual care through fellowship in the church. She was a social worker for her community. And so when I think of why all of this stuff matters, I think about her. When she died, she left behind not just a family, but a community who lost a profound caretaker. And that's what I always reflect on. And that's what inspires me. That's what I want you to be, those doctors that could have recognized that, could have been curious, who, you know, back then, you know, being Puerto Rican, it still sort of is, kind of highly stigmatized. And there were language issues, there were access to care that were really unimaginable. And so those are the doctors that I'm hoping that you will all be. And that's why I think humanism matters so much. That's really is, without that as a starting point, it's nothing. All the incredible medical knowledge that you know means nothing if you can't engage in a way that's respectful, kind, full of grace, engenders trust. That's how you heal. Without that, you can't do anything. It doesn't matter what medicine you have. And so I guess moving forward, just keep on doing what you do. Don't forget where you came from. I think you've had the biggest gift in each other as medical students here at Downstate, because you have leadership who embrace this, from our president, to your deans, to all of the faculty that are in leadership positions, practicing this inclusivity. Especially for me, who is not a clinician, I'm walking in these spaces where I feel like I have no business. And I'm sure you've all felt that way, and I'm sure your patients feel like that every day. But I think that's what I try to draw from, especially also as a person who identifies as queer, as gay, and not all the spaces that I would move through, I would feel safe. I feel safe here, and I want you to feel safe. I want people that I interact with to feel safe. I want them to know that I will advocate for them. I will listen to them. I will advocate for them. And not just, and a couple of you talked about this, not just on that one moment interaction that you have with your patient, but advocacy goes beyond the patient. You're also advocating for changing a practice, changing a system, changing institutions, and holding them accountable. I expect you to hold us accountable. You've taught me so much as students. You've given me eyes to worlds that I cannot have imagined, and you've held me accountable and enlightened me in so many ways I couldn't even begin to say. I hope you are going to be a gift to people that you're going to be working with. And so that's, I guess, how you can practice that moving forward. Don't forget where you came from, why it matters. Thank you for this honor. It is true. And my wonderful spouse, Peter, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is the reason why I can get up and give public speaking, at least in the entertainment industry.
Next is Dr. Dinkevich, Eugene Dinkevich, who unfortunately is ill this evening, but really wanted to share some words that I agreed to read on his behalf. Dr. Dinkevich is a pediatrician. I know I'm seeing some words of recognition. I'm seeing some faces of folks who are disappointed he's not here. He's a pediatrician, an educator, and an academic leader whose career reflects a lifelong commitment to compassionate, evidence-based, and community-centered care. For more than 2 decades at SUNY Downstate, he has served in numerous leadership roles, including Associate Professor of Clinical Pediatrics, Director of the Division of General Pediatrics, and Medical Director of the Pediatric Faculty Practice, shaping clinical care and medical education across generations of learners. Dr. Dinkevich is nationally recognized for his scholarly contributions in preventative pediatrics, childhood obesity, nutrition, and evidence-based medicine itself. He has authored numerous peer-reviewed publications, book chapters, and delivered invited lectures nationally and internationally, advancing both practice and health equity for underserved pediatric populations. Equally impactful is Dr. Dinkevich's dedication to teaching and mentorship. On his own initiative, he has taken special care to mentor students facing academic challenges, offering guidance that not only strengthens clinical knowledge and study skills, but also preserves students' sense of integrity, restores confidence, and helps them rediscover their potential. Many students credit his steady support, patience, and belief in them as pivotal moments in their medical training. For more than 25 years, Dr. Dinkevich has been a trusted educator and role model, known for his intellectual rigor, generosity in time, and deep respect for others. It is especially meaningful that Dr. Dinkevich's induction into the Gold Humanism Honor Society recognizes the compassion, integrity, and quiet leadership that he demonstrates every single day in his service to his patients, his students, and his colleagues. So congratulations to Dr. Dinkevich. And if you'll indulge him, I am going to read his remarks as well, but certainly not as well as he could have if he was not ill this evening. He acknowledged Dr. Riley, Dr. Bruna Carley, Dean Lazar, myself and Dean Putman, and most importantly, the students and parents. He said, "Thank you for giving me this distinguished recognition. I am very grateful for accepting it, for me to accept it on his behalf, and I am very disappointed that I'm not able to be there with you in person. To answer the question about what humanism means to me, I would say that when it comes to patients, staff, and colleagues, I try to treat everyone the same way that I would want to be treated myself, avoiding doing things to them that I would not want having done to me. I would be dishonest if I did not mention that we have great challenges to the practice of humanism that we face in our profession. We ourselves are trained, and we train medical students to build positive, patient-centered relationships. However, we cannot overlook the challenge that we face as 21st century physicians to balance personalized face-to-face care while optimizing the financial viability of our practices and utilizing technology to document while we're doing this in real time. Despite this, I maintain a positive attitude about the future of providing care with a human face. I am optimistic because Brooklyn needs Downstate, and this message has been recognized. I am optimistic because I work with the very best pediatricians in the department, and especially the general pediatricians, I won't take offense as a specialist, in the Division of Pediatrics. My colleagues combine the practice of highest standards of medical knowledge with highest levels of personal, patient-centered, and humanistic care. This is absolutely true. They inspire me, and I'm so proud to say that I would take my own children to any of them anytime. But in addition to leading by example with one patient at a time, they have led by bringing humanism to the medical school as a whole. I am also inspired by the families that I care for. Many of the parents of my patients were themselves my patients. They grew up and now bring their kids to me. It's a special privilege to care for patients of my patients that I benefit from because Downstate has been the rock to this community for many generations. Finally, the greatest source of my inspirations comes from my students. They come to our pediatric practice ready to learn. Having worked in a number of places before Downstate, I can honestly say that our students are the most down to earth, and in addition to learning pediatrics, really want to learn how to speak with anxious parents, children, and family. They value learning the practice of humanity and medicine along with medical science. Let me close by thanking you all again, and I hope to continue to do my best for the patients, families, and our students. Thank you, Eugene Dinkevich. And we will, of course, honor him with the certificate as well. So before I hand off the last inductee to Dr. Putman, I would like to take a moment to honor our Tao Award winner, Dr. Hannah Brooks. Camelia, would you like to come up here too? Do you want to come up so you can give your mommy a big hug? You don't have to. You can come up after. If you feel like it, you'll come, okay? No pressure, no pressure. So cute. You're very cute. Dr. Hannah Brooks is a family physician, educator, and advocate whose young career already reflects a remarkable depth of wisdom and a steadfast commitment to humanism, equity, and excellence in medical education. She currently serves as primary care clerkship director and clinical assistant professor in the Department of Family and Community Medicine. A graduate of Albert Einstein College of Medicine and former chief resident at New York Presbyterian Columbia. Dr. Brooks has been nationally engaged in scholarly work focused on professionalism, anti-racism in medical training, ethics, and primary care education. Her work has been recognized across institutions, including Social Justice Award from Albert Einstein College of Medicine, the Family Medicine Resident Award for Advocacy at Columbia, recognizing her impact on legislative and regulatory efforts that shape the future of healthcare. Since joining Downstate, Dr. Brooks has been repeatedly recognized by students she teaches and mentors. She received special recognition from the SUNY class of 2025 Medical Council for her positive impact on their medical journey, and was nominated by the same class for induction into Gold Humanism Honor Society last year. They were honoring her consistent modeling of clinical excellence, kind, safe, and trustworthy care. This year, she has again been nominated by the students to the level of this Tao Award. This is especially powerful in affirming the trust, the respect, and the inspiration she brings into our learning environment every day. On a personal note, I've had the great privilege of working closely with Hannah since she joined Downstate just 3 years ago. She's become more than a colleague, but a trusted collaborator. I've often gone to her to have very interesting and enlightening conversations, and a friend who I deeply respect. Her integrity, warmth, and unwavering commitment to learners and colleagues and patients make her especially deserving of this recognition. So please help me in honoring Dr. Hannah Brooks as this year's Gold Humanism Tao Award recipient.
I hate microphones, but my daughter loves them. Um, she received 3 for the holidays this year. I am just so honored by this award. I learned about it when I was incredibly pregnant and burst into tears, and it's hard postpartum too to hold it together. But I just want to say that you guys as students have reinvigorated my love for teaching, my love for practicing medicine, both in the hospital and in the clinic. And I just so appreciate that you came with me this past year. You all were the class on my first journey as the clerkship director for the whole year, and you wrote it out with me, and you came with me to this on a to just really experience what I love about being a family doctor. And a few words that I offer for you in a time that is actually, it's pretty grim right now in the world. And humanism to me is to look beyond that, to accept the realities that we are living through, and to make sure that we continue to fight for and advocate for the most vulnerable. We have seen such tragedy only in the beginning of this year, and I am I am heartened by the fact that you guys are the ones who are going to be part of the movement to continue to fight for those who are unable to fight for themselves at this time. So thank you for honoring me. Thank you to the deans, and of course to Elka, who really helped me kind of find my footing in this role, and of course to my amazing family. Camille, you want to say hi? So congratulations to all of you.
It's hard to follow that. And ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to introduce our final nominee for this evening. It is Dr. F. Charles Brunicardi, our Dean of the College of Medicine, who is a surgeon scientist, an educator, a mentor, and a lifelong advocate for excellence and compassion in medicine. Dr. Brunicardi currently serves as Senior Vice President and Dean of the College of Medicine at SUNY Downstate Health Sciences University, bringing more than 3 decades of leadership in academic medicine and patient care to that role. He is a native of New Jersey, but we won't hold that against him, since his family did come from here. He graduated Phi Beta Kappa from Johns Hopkins University and earned his medical degree from Rutgers University School of Medicine before completing his general surgery residency and research fellowship here at SUNY Downstate. Throughout his distinguished career, Dr. Brunicardi has held major academic appointments, including as department chair at Baylor College of Medicine and surgical leadership roles at UCLA and at the University of Toledo. Across these institutions, he's been recognized repeatedly for his commitment to surgical innovation, to education, and especially to mentorship of others. His scholarly contributions are profound. Dr. Brunicardi has authored hundreds of publications, holds multiple patents, and has served as editor-in-chief of Schwartz's Principles of Surgery, which is the world's leading surgical textbook for over 2 decades. But beyond his accomplishments in research, leadership, and clinical excellence, Dr. Brunicardi embodies the very spirit of humanism in medicine. He's mentored generations of surgeons, advocated for patient-centered care, and inspired colleagues with integrity, compassion, and devotion to service. And it is with great admiration that we celebrate his induction into the Gold Humanism Honor Society, an honor that recognizes not just expertise, but empathy, respect, and the profound human connection that defines exceptional healthcare. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Charles Brunicardi.
Dr. Putman, thank you for those kind words. I wish my parents were here tonight to hear them, because my dad would have been amused and my mom would have believed it. Humanism means, by the way, I'm deeply honored by this award tonight. I was surprised when Dr. Putman told me this week. So I'm really deeply honored by it. Humanism means to me the love and care that you give to your patients and their families. And if you do that, I promise you, you will be rewarded with their love. And there's no greater reward than that. And so tonight was a night where I thought back on the past 50 years and all the memories I have of taking care of patients. So I'll leave you with one quick story, because I know it's the end of the night. I had a service in Texas where people would send me ill patients from all over the Texas area. And so I had an elderly lady come in who was in a coma. And so she was put on my service. And the family wanted to pull the plug and end her because they felt she was elderly and she was in a coma. So I took care of her, and I just had this feeling that she wasn't ready to go. So I had to sit with the family, with the kids who were all arguing, and I calmed them down and said, "Give me a little more time to care for your mom." And so, to make a long story short, every holiday season, I would get a love letter from her thanking me for saving her life. So you'll have thousands of stories like that for your career to think about, and it's one of the most rewarding careers that you can ever have. I never thought I would be a dean. I was frightened to become a dean. That was 6 years ago because I had never seen a happy dean. So I thought if I accepted the job, that I would become unhappy like all the deans I had worked with. But it turns out I love my work. And what I try to do to support humanism is to come to work every day and to do my best with my wonderful colleagues to improve the learning environment for the medical students as well as our residents and fellows. And so far, this has been the happiest block of my career is having the honor to serve as your dean. So I want to thank all of you for this profound honor tonight, and I want to congratulate our students and their families for becoming an MD this year. So congratulations to all of you.
Okay. Before we go to the final part, which is for you to do the oath, two quick announcements. Right after we do the oath, I would ask that anybody who was inducted or honored tonight can join us. I think we'll do it over there against that white wall because we want to take a group picture. We usually go outside. I'm not doing that tonight. It's very cold. So we'll do it right over here. So if everybody can just, after we do the oath, we'll go over there just to get the picture of the group. And I do want to add one other piece to Dr. Brunicardi's story, by the way. He accepted the job in late 2019, and he started on third week of January in 2020. And 4 days later, he was appointed the chair of this thing called the Coronavirus Task Force. No pressure whatsoever from day one. So thank you, Dr. Brunicardi, for all you've done for this institution. So without further ado, everybody who's been inducted tonight, I'd ask you to please stand. And we will read the oath. I put the oath on the screen. You also all have your certificates. It's the same oath, except for the first sentence is not on there. So I'd ask you to read it together with me, if you're ready. I pledge by all that I hold dear as a physician, I will care for my patients with compassion, respect, empathy, integrity, and clinical excellence. I will listen to my patients with my whole being. I will advocate for each patient as a unique individual. I will serve as a role model and mentor to promote humanism in healthcare. I will remember always the healing power of acts of caring. I will dedicate myself to joining with others to make healthcare optimal for all. Congratulations. That concludes our ceremony. Those of you who got inducted, please join us over in the corner here where we'll take a group picture. Thank you again. And please, there is a lot of food left. You can take some home. Ernie will help you get a to-go box if there's anybody you didn't bring. And also, so you know, I will make all of the pictures that were taken tonight will get to you in the next day or so. And you can download them for free. We're not charging you. I'm paying, not personally. We're paying. And there's also a video of the whole ceremony, which we will put up on YouTube that you'll be able to share. So we'll send you the links to all of that. So please join me in the corner.